Marvel Strike Force fans, I am Cerebro, your community manager, and welcome once again to your community update. For the news, I just want to give you guys a heads up that our next version of the game, 5.9, is scheduled for release next week. They usually comes around midweek, around Wednesday. That is subject to change, but I do want you guys to know so you can mark it on your calendar and be ready to download the exciting new update. Let's go ahead and swing into the interview because it's an exciting one today. All right, guys, super happy to have back with us on the show once again, Mr. Byron Mehlsack. How have you been, good sir?
Doing really well. Glad to be here, Cerebro.
All right, let's jump right into it because we have a lot of ground to cover today. So our releases that we do every December usually have twice the amount of content and they last about twice the amount of time. That's usually what we do, right?
Yeah, the team has been working really hard to make sure that we have a lot of fun events and new characters to earn without skipping a beat. The combat pod in particular really buckled down to bring a lot new fan favorite characters and much requested older character reworks to the game in the coming months.
Yeah, I know you guys have been working really hard. I've been kind of monitoring your guys' progress, obviously, as I put together the scripts for these videos, and I see just the huge volume of work that you guys are currently working on. So we're not going to be able to cover all of that today here in this video, but I know there was one team in particular that you wanted to talk about.
Indeed. I'm thrilled to announce that the new Web Warriors team is coming soon to Marvel Strike Force. This includes reworks for Spider-Man and for Miles, along with their new teammates of Ghost Spider, Spider-Punk, and Scarlet Spider.
Whew, I either just got the shivers or that Peter tingle I've been hearing about. How about we start at the beginning of that list with Spider-Man and Miles? I know our community's been asking for reworks for those characters for quite a long time. Can you give us an overview of how we're making improvements there?
Sure. To start with, both characters are getting significant upgrades to their base stats, including health, damage, armor, focus, and resist. Spider-Man is getting Drain added to his special ability, and he grants speed bar to Web Warrior allies when they dodge, and some extra functionality in raids. For Miles, when he or another Web Warrior ally dodges, he's going to apply speed up for that character.
So for any viewers out there that might be newer to the game, Spider-Man's the first character you unlock, but previously he didn't really scale that well into the end game. Would you now give the advice for newer players out there that Spider-Man is going to be useful throughout more of the lifespan of the game, more safe to put resources into him, I guess?
All players are going to find Spider-Man to be useful at all levels of the game. Once you get Spider-Man to near the new max level, around level 70, his base stats are going to scale way up. And so he'll catch up to all the other more modern characters that we have.
All right, let's swing on over to our first new character, Ghost Spider, who again, has been a highly requested character to be added to the game. Can you give us an overview of her kit, please?
Of course. We actually had a great content creator video recently that first announced her kit, so I won't go too in-depth into her abilities. She's the team's new controller, and one of her distinct traits for the team is that she has a retaliate attack. And the retaliate attack works when any of her Web Warrior allies are attacked. Also, she has a new special synergy with Spider-Man Miles, where when he drops below 50% health, she is going to apply stealth to him. Also, she has a very powerful ultimate where she attacks all targets and spreads all debuffs from the primary target to all other targets.
All right, great. We've laid the groundwork, so let's get into the two new characters we are here to announce today. Perhaps we should start with the one that maybe Marvel fans are more familiar with, Scarlet Spider.
Sure. Scarlet Spider is certainly an interesting character and was introduced during the Clone Saga comics storyline in the mid-1990s. His real name is Ben Reilly, and he's actually a clone of Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Scarlet Spider was originally created in a lab to be an enemy of Spider-Man, but later on they actually became allies.
Awesome, thanks for that little summary on his backstory. Let's dive into his passive ability so we can get an idea of what he brings to the Web Warriors team.
Sure. Scarlet Spider is kind of the linchpin character that holds the entire Web Warriors team together, especially in raids. So to start off with, in raids, on spawn, if he has his entire Web Warriors team with him, he applies offense up and death proof to himself and the entire Web Warriors team. on his turn, he has a 50% chance to apply evade to a random Web Warrior ally or himself that currently doesn't have evade. However, in raids, this always will happen. On any successful attack by himself or any Web Warrior ally, he heals himself and all Web Warriors for 1% of his max health. In raids, this is increased to 3%. Because he's a clone of Peter Parker, he does have the basic kind of spider sensibility, so he gets his basic dodge bonus. He provides a bonus max health for himself and all Web Warrior allies. He provides bonus crit damage to himself, and in raids, he provides bonus crit damage to Web Warrior allies.
All right, let's move on to his ultimate ability, please.
All right, this one is a doozy. So first thing he does is that he attacks his primary target and attempts to apply slow to them. Then he attacks all targets for big damage, and any targets that have slow on them, he will attempt to clear positive effects from them. However, in raids, this slow requirement on the enemies is not required, and so he'll just remove all positive effects from them.
All right, moving right down the list, his special ability, please.
For his special, he attacks a target and chains to several enemies for moderate damage. This prolongs the duration of 3 random negative effects, excluding ability block, stun, and trauma on each target. Counterattack will break this chain.
All right, let's move on over to Scarlet Spider's basic ability. I read ahead a little bit. This one looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, so this is a rebound chain that deals moderate damage, and Scarlet Spider will attempt to apply defense down to each target. However, if he's in raids and Spider-Man is an active ally, this will also apply offense down and slow to each target.
Okay, so in raids, on a basic, we've got defense down, offense down, and slow.
It gets even tastier because all of that gets applied on his ISO 8 bonus attack.
That's delicious. Okay, so the next character, I have to admit, I wasn't quite as familiar with when I was, putting together the script for the video. Could you give us a bit of backstory on Spider-Punk?
I'm going to assume that most of our audience is aware of the Spider-Verse, which features many alternate reality versions of Spider-Man. One of those is Hobart Brown, aka Spider-Punk. His origin story is a bit different in that he was transformed by a spider that was exposed to some toxic sludge dumped by Norman Osborn's goons. Hobart became Spider-Punk and vowed to fight corruption, especially President Osborn's regime.
Boy, I guess no matter the dimension, Norman Osborn just is not a nice guy.
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a dimension where he's not a bad guy.
All right, let's break down his passive ability and see what he's going to bring to the team.
Sure. So Spider-Punk has a number of things going that creates a lot of synergy with himself and the other Web Warriors. When he or another Web Warrior ally dodges, he applies offense up to them. When he or a ally Web Warrior crits, he will search for an ally Web Warrior that has heal block and then remove heal block from them. Again, because he is a Spider-Man variant, he gains a lot of bonus dodge. He gains bonus crit chance. And in raids, he provides his ally Web Warriors with bonus crit chance.
Well, that seems pretty powerful, especially since there seems to be kind of fewer of those bullet points that focus on raids specifically. Let's move on and check out his ultimate ability.
So his ultimate is a doozy. So similar to Scarlet Spider, this is a very hard-hitting all attack that deals heavy damage and applies heal block. However, if he's in raids and Ghost Spider's an ally, he also applies the trauma negative effect to all enemies. And because his ultimate is basically Spider-Punk putting on his own rock show, this attack cannot miss because, of course, the enemy team is not going to want to miss his rock show.
Oh, absolutely not. And the animation on this one, again, just fantastic. Our team just tops themselves I say this like every episode, but I really mean it every episode. The animations in our game just get better and better.
So to give a little insight, we first started talking about doing Spider-Punk on Marvel Strike Force. Apparently he had a lot of fans on the team. And so during our initial pitch meetings, whether we were talking about his kit or his animations, a lot of people showed up and there were a lot of opinions being thrown around. And I think because of that, visually Spider-Punk's kit is just absolutely amazing. The team really came together we're all super excited to get him out the door.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. Thanks for sharing. All right, well, let's check out this really awesome special ability.
So his special is it is a big chain attack that deals moderate damage. However, if he's in raids, for every Web Warrior ally he has, every strike of this deals bonus, is going to have increased damage. So instead of dealing moderate damage, it's going to deal heavy damage. Counterattack can break this chain. And what's really cool about this one is that this one is animated to look like he's mosh pitting on top of the enemy team.
Fantabulous. All right, let's cinch this up all nice and neat and take a look at his basic.
So his basic is, technically it's pretty simple, but it's pretty hard hitting. He attacks a target for moderate damage, but if he has any Web Warrior allies, he attacks again for a bonus attack that deals heavy damage. So this is the first time we're doing this where the bonus attack actually deals a lot more damage than the initial attack.
So we touched a little bit on this earlier, but now we need to circle back to the ISO 8s. Which one are you favoring for both Scarlet Spider and Spider-Punk?
So as I talked about before on Scarlet Spider, Striker is going to be most useful on him because his basic has the ability to apply three negative effects. So, and all those negative effects do get applied on ISO bonus attacks. For Spider-Punk, because he gets bonus crit chance, he gets a lot of use out of the Raider ISO. Raider ISO, of course, increases crit chance and crit damage. And when a character with Raider crits, they apply vulnerable. So Spider-Punk with Raider is going to be applying quite a bit of vulnerable.
So obviously, great raids team, but I think there's some of the stuff in there, especially like with Spider-Punk's passive, where it seems like there actually might be some viability outside of raids too, especially with kind of the, applying offense up, clearing heal block. Are there any other modes where maybe you've been testing out the team and finding some use?
Yeah, I've had some success theory crafting this with this team in real-time arena, especially when certain bans go up during certain days of the week. I've been finding some success using parts of this team. I'm not going to elaborate on the full team I've been using. I'm excited to see what the community comes up with.
Oh, got it. Yep. All right, fine. Keep your secrets, Mr. Game Designer Man. All right, and finally, the big question, when can we expect to see the reworks and the new characters for Web Warriors come to the game?
So our next patch is patch 5.9. When the patch comes out, you'll have access to the reworks for both Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles immediately. And then over the course of the duration of 5.9, we're going to be releasing the rest of the Web Warriors team.
All right, Byron, thank you again for stopping by. I know you're a very busy man, so I really appreciate you making the time to stop by and tell our players about what's coming and give us some more insights from that game designer brain and the combat pod over there.
Well, as usual, it's always a joy to spend time with you, Cerebro, here on Strike Time. I really enjoy doing this, and I hope everybody has a very fun and safe holiday season.
Yeah, if I don't see you again before then, happy holidays to you. Thanks so much. All right, let's check out what's been going on in the community in this week's Community Spotlight. Yep, we're doing this thing. Halloween has come and gone again, but the photos of our Marvel costumes will last a lifetime. Let's check out some of the photos you shared on the official Facebook group. Christopher Comstock went all out on his Red Guardian costume, complete with shield and luxurious beard. I'm not sure if the psychedelic hatter sitting on his shoulder is on brand, but I love the creativity. Okay, I have to apologize again for butchering a name, but Noe Aguar is looking sharp in his red, white, and blue Spidey costume that I know I've seen somewhere before. I'll let you guys figure out the reference. And we missed this one last year, but Jonathan A. Rootsaw went several extra miles with his Beast costume. This takes guts, pomade, and a lot of blue airbrushing. Add in the hand-painted 8-pack, and you, sir, have earned this week's Cerebro salute. Now let's check in on the fan art channel over on the official Discord server. First up is this Halloween jack-o'-lantern by Abba featuring a carving of the iconic diving eagle in the Strike Force app icon. It's impressive craftsmanship to be sure, but it's not really that scary. Well, unless you're Ultimus, and he's trick-or-treating. Wonder what kind of candy he would like. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. Next we have a Venom sketch by artist Venom Addict, proving that you have to be ready to put pen to paper whenever the mood strikes. Artist Mr. Pie is just a non-stop machine of clean and slick artwork. A war machine, if you will. Keep him coming, dude, and we'll keep showing him. And finally, 13 Mamba shared this photo of his custom Captain America birthday cake and what has to be the most adorable Steve Rogers I have ever seen. Never had the urge to bite Captain America's shield before, but I guess there's a first time for everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, our next release is going to be a little bit longer than normal, so it will be a little bit longer before you see the next episode of Strike Time. So look for that sometime probably around late January. On behalf of the Marvel Strike Force team, thank you guys so much for playing the game here in 2021. And we really have so much awesome stuff to show you guys when we come back next year in 2022. We hope you'll be there with us. See you guys next time. You're never gonna guess which team's getting reworked next. Yup. That one.